Yum. Oh my God. Oh, oh yeah, that's a cupcake. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Roll for Cake. No, I'm not wearing a shirt and no, I won't put one on. Here at Roll for Cake, fueled by the chaos of dice rolls, my questionable baking abilities, and my genuine real human taste buds, we dive headfirst into whipping up, tasting, and rating delightfully weird and unhinged cake and frosting flavor combinations. If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian, and as an amateur, I've learned that experimentation, whether in the kitchen or in other areas of life, all comes down to curiosity, communication, and the willingness to try something new. Sometimes it's a mess, sometimes it's magic, but it's always an adventure. So to get you up to speed on what we do here, at the end of each episode, we roll 4 20-sided dice, each one relating to a category: cake type, cake flavor, frosting type, and frosting flavor. And the result of those dice rolls decide the subject of our next episode, which after last week's rolls are Ube Cupcakes with a honey whipped ganache. Okay, the elephant in the room for a lot of you, including me, what the hell is ube? Ube is like a purple sweet potato that's been sent from the culinary gods to make your baked goods look like it's been dipped in unicorn magic. It's a Filipino staple, a root vegetable that's naturally and shockingly purple. Flavor-wise, think it's slightly sweet, slightly nutty, slightly vanilla-y, and it's almost kind of sensual in a I wasn't expecting this, but I'm not complaining kind of way. And in order to achieve the flavors of this, we're gonna be using 2 different products. We're gonna be using an ube jam and ube essence. Okay, that covers ube. Now, I shouldn't really have to explain cupcakes, but just in case they look like this, they're just little cakes baked in little cups with decadent frosting covering them. Now, given the color of ube, I'm expecting some absolutely captivating looking cupcakes, just this deep, vivid purple. Now, for the frosting, we've made a ganache before in episode 1, with the matcha maple. This episode, we've been tasked with something slightly different. We've been tasked with making the kinkier cousin of a regular ganache. In this episode, we're making a whipped ganache. Now, this is not a normal ganache. Normal ganache is just chocolate melted with cream, mixed together and let set. But this is chocolate leveled up, massaged into perfection till it's light and fluffy and airy. It's rich, indulgent, and it'll just make you question all your life choices. I mean, in essence, you're just whipping a regular ganache. But when you whip ganache, this dense, indulgent chocolate becomes this rich, airy, irresistible fluff. And we're combining this with honey, Mother Nature's golden mischief. It's sticky and sweet and impossible to resist. So we have these vivid purple, slightly sweet, slightly nutty ube cupcakes that just whisper, "Try me, I know you want to." Combined with this rich, airy, indulgent whipped honey ganache that you just know is gonna get messy. This sounds like a match made in heaven or some naughtier place. Either way, I'm down bad for this. All right, that's enough beating around the bush. It's time to make these bad boys. So, starting with our cupcakes. So preheat your oven to 165 degrees Celsius. In a large bowl, whisk 2 large eggs, 100 grams of granulated sugar, and 113 grams of vegetable oil until combined. Add 1 heaping cup of ube jam and whisk until you don't see any ube jam chunks. Add 3 teaspoons of ube extract and continue whisking until combined. This stuff is black and will stain anything that it gets onto, so be very careful with this. Sift 115 grams of cake flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt into the mixture and gently stir until combined. Make sure not to overmix. If you no longer see massive streaks of flour, you're good to go. Scoop the batter into cupcake pans. I'm using silicone because they're easy to remove, and fill them just a little over half full. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes until a toothpick inserted into the middle of the fuse come out with some moist crumbs. Remove from the oven, allow to cool for 5 minutes before removing and placing on a wire rack to cool completely. While these are cooling, we can make our whipped ganache. We'll start by adding 200 grams of white chocolate and 200 mils of heavy cream to a bowl and microwave at 30-second intervals until melted. Put this mixture in the fridge and allow to cool for a few hours or overnight. Once cooled, remove from the fridge. Using a whisk, whip the mixture until stiff peaks form and it's light and airy. Then add 1 tablespoon of honey at a time, mixing until combined, and taste test. Here you can add little bits of honey at a time to get that honey flavor. It all depends on how much you want it to shine. I added about 2 tablespoons. I dipped my finger into it to try after the first tablespoon and it wasn't quite as strong as I wanted it to be, so I added an extra tablespoon because I really want that honey flavor to shine. what a mission this ganache was. Buckle up kids, it's science class. Amateur baker Christian learned something this day. What allows things to whip up into stiff peaks is normally based on the ratio of waters to fats, or something along those lines. Now, I didn't realize adding the honey before whipping really affected the ability for the ganache to whip. Don't add the honey to the ganache until after you have whipped it, because otherwise it won't whip into stiff peaks. So let me give you a rundown on my day dealing with this ganache. This is what it looked like, and I thought that was okay, but I thought after putting it in the fridge, I would whip it again and it would firm up. Incorrect. It made it worse, far worse. When you whip it, it breaks the ganache and it became runnier. So I put it back in the fridge, tried to let it firm up, tried to whip it, didn't realize whipping it is what was actually destroying it in the first place. So I made it more difficult for myself. I wanted to try and fix it. I didn't know how. So like most people these days, I turned to ChatGPT and I said, how do I fix my mixture? And this is where they said, well, you shouldn't have added the honey. But here are the ways we could fix it. And I went down a chat rabbit hole. Every solution it gave me made it significantly worse, until eventually the ganache was so whipped, it split into butter and buttermilk. The whole thing had completely been destroyed. So I had to start again, and I had to make a new whipped ganache with a new recipe, which came together way easier and way better. Unfortunately, I didn't film it, but I'll put a link in the description below to the whipped ganache recipe you should follow. You still have to put honey in afterwards, after you've whipped it, but this took me like 3 days to do. This was so much. Anyway, we got there in the end. I did it for you. I wanted to make sure that we had a nice little piped whipped ganache to go on top of our beautiful purple ube cupcakes. And we got there in the end. It was a lot of effort, but we did it. So all that's left to do, actually, the cupcakes came together so well. You just mix it all together, you put it in the cupcake holder, cupcake pan, you bake it, you let it cool, and you're done. Man, so easy, so easy. And housemate tried the ube cupcake without the frosting, said it is one of the greatest things he's ever had in his mouth. So I'm very excited to try this, which means I might try the cupcake first by itself. I want to see how good it is, and then I will try it with the frosting and see how the two go well together. So, oh yeah, so moist. As you can see from my moist crumb shot, it is a beautiful, vivid, purple looking cupcake. So let's see how we go. Oh yeah, yum. That's ube. I've never had ube, but that's ube. Yum. That's probably one of the best cupcakes I've ever eaten. I feel like cupcakes can get really dry and you're really relying on the frosting to like bring some moisture. But that is beautiful. It doesn't need anything. That's texturally, it's moist, it's gooey and cakey and dense and sweet and has this, what is that flavor? I know it's ube, but it reminds me of something. Gotta cover all 9,000 taste buds. That ube, that sweetness, pure ube. What is it? What is that flavor? I know it's ube, stop telling me it's ube. Kipling, he makes these little cake things that you can buy from supermarkets. Tastes like that. It's just a really nice sweet cake. Yum. Okay, frosting. Yum. Oh, it's so light. Honey, white chocolate. Yum. Okay, frosting's good too. That's really good. Okay, together. I'm in bliss. Yum. Oh my God. Oh. Oh yeah, that's a cupcake. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Damn. The lightness from the ganache is not super sweet, not overpowering. It's just a nice, beautiful honey white chocolate flavor, but you do lose some of the ube. The cupcake's still there, it's still tasty, still sweet, it's still moist and everything, but the ube is just not as pronounced, which makes sense because you're adding another flavor in there, but ube does get masked a little bit by the honey and the white chocolate. Damn, that is a tasty cupcake. Okay. I will descend from nirvana and try and center myself. And once I do, I will come back with a proper rate, review, and score of our ube cupcakes with the honey whipped ganache. Okay, so it's time to score the cupcakes. They were great. They were so tasty, so good. So I've actually tried it twice now. I tried it when I first made it, when the ganache was still room temperature. It was so light, so airy, and still, I guess, kind of warm. And then I tried it once it had been refrigerated. The ganache had firmed up into like a chocolate truffle kind of consistency, like the inside of a Lindt ball that's been refrigerated. It's not hard like chocolate, but it has this kind of flakiness to the chocolate. So 2 different textures, but I'll give you an overall score based on it. So overall flavor, 9.5. It's so good. Like really, really tasty. It is quite sweet, not overpoweringly so, but a level of sweetness that would get to you eventually. So I wouldn't call it perfect, but it was very, very close to it. Really, really nice. The cupcake by itself is phenomenal. The frosting by itself is phenomenal. And together they're great. So 9.5 for flavor. Texture cohesion, again, I think it's great. I think the texture was slightly better when it was fresh, because that light, airy ganache goes really well with this nice, dense, cakey cupcake, rather than like a dense ganache on top to go with a dense cupcake. So I think when it was first done, it was way, way better. I would have liked maybe some textural variation. If I can put some maybe toasted coconut on top or some extra crunch, but otherwise you had this really lovely light cream into this dense, moist, cakey, almost fudgy cupcake. It was really, really good, but not perfect. So I'm gonna give this a 9.5 for texture. And then flavor cohesion. This is probably where it was let down slightly. The flavors were still there. They were still beautiful, but the honey and the white chocolate did slightly overpower the ube. It was still there. You still got some of it, but unless you're familiar with ube, which I wasn't, you kind of have to focus and really try and notice that it's there, because it does get overshadowed a little bit by the honey and the white chocolate. So not perfect, but still they work really, really well together. So I think the flavors are great together, not in unison, not at perfect balance. So I'll go for a 9. Overall gives us a score of 28 out of 30 or 9.3, which is the same as our banana Medvik. Now, I don't know how I choose between them, but if you saw my reaction in the last video, I think the Medvik wins. These were beautiful. It's hard to choose one over the other because of how much I really enjoyed eating these cupcakes, but the joy that I had when I ate that Medvik, I think that wins. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch the video. But otherwise, Ube Cupcakes with honey whipped ganache, 9.3. Overall, I call this a win. Ube Cupcakes, beautiful. The honey whipped ganache, beautiful. Together, really good. But honestly, with the amount of effort that it took to make that ganache, don't worry about it. Those cupcakes are so good without any frosting. Just fuck the ganache off. Honestly, it's too much effort. It doesn't add to the cupcake. If anything, it subtracts from it because the cupcakes are beautiful by themselves. So as lovely as this combination was, I don't think it's worth it with the ganache. Cupcakes are just great. So I still think this was a win. It was a really nice flavor combination, but the real takeaway from this is Ube Cupcakes slap. They are so good. So please make these Ubes. You might have to order the ingredients online, which is what I had to do, the flavor and the jam. But man, it is a flavor. It is so good. I mean, yes, everything is a flavor, but it is really, really good. You'll eat it and you'll be like, yeah, that's ube. I get it, I understand now, that's ube. It's good, it's really, really good. It doesn't taste like potato. It's just sweet and nutty and lovely. It was an experience. I actually really like that. I'm keen to try some other ube things and see if I can get the same kind of flavors out of those as well. Ube Cupcakes, big win. Really happy we worked on these together. Okay, that about wraps up Ube Cupcakes with honey whipped ganache, which means it is time to roll for next week's cake. All right, starting with cake type. Mud cake. Ooh, okay, I love this. Flavor. Coffee. Ooh, yeah, okay. Coffee mud. All right, frosting type. Mirror glaze. Okay, yeah, let's go. All right, frosting flavor. Matcha. Okay, so we have a coffee mud cake with a matcha mirror glaze. That about wraps up another episode of Roll for Cake. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked the episode or the idea of the series, don't forget to like, comment down below any alterations you'd like for me to make to the board or my uniform. We can update the types of cakes, frostings, flavors, things that you want to see. Please comment them down below. As usual, I'd love to know what you'd like to see in the TBA. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to bring that in as a 5th roll. It can be challenges, add chili, high protein, make it vegan, clothing alterations. We'll see. You let me know what you'd like to see, and once we hit 1,000, we're gonna add that into the rolls as well to add some extra thrills. Don't forget to check out my my other series, Recipe by Request, where I try viral recipes or recipes of interest as submitted by my subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on episode releases, whether it's Recipe by Request or Roll for Cake. You get to see my baking experimentations. And if you'd like to get involved with the series, whether it's Recipe by Request or Roll for Cake, follow the link in my profile. You can send me a recipe, I'll make it for you, or you can send me a video of your rolls and I'll make that on the next episode of Roll for Cake, and I'll give you guys a shout out on the episode as well. Thanks again for tuning into this episode of Roll for Cake. You do not want to miss the next episode. This next one just sounds absolutely crazy. Flavors, hopefully they go well together, but it's gonna be a visual masterpiece. We have a coffee mud cake with a matcha mirror glaze. Is there anything else I want to add before I turn off my camera? Is that everything? Do I need to add anything else?